we got a big game for the Lions this week. Of course, the annual yearly Thanksgiving tradition, the Thanksgiving game. Of course, this year's Thanksgiving game, the Lions are taking on the Buffalo Bills, the Red Hot Bills, which I think the Bills are one of the top teams in the league right now. Maybe either them or the Dolphins, maybe even the Chiefs or the Eagles. Like it's a bloodbath this year for the top team in the league. But the Bills were one of my favorites in the preseason to make the Super Bowl. So far, we'll have to see, but I would probably still stick with it, but we'll have to see how everything shapes up come playoff time. But yeah, we got the Bills coming to town this week. Of course, the Bills were also in town earlier last week with that snowstorm that hit Buffalo last week with like over 6 feet of snow, to where their game against the Browns got moved to Detroit. So yeah, and also one question I have for the Bills is, if you're going to have a new stadium, why the hell is it an open roof stadium instead of a dome? Especially when Buffalo is listed as the city that gets the most snow in America. Especially when you're beside a fucking lake in Lake Erie. With that lake effect, snow effect. Like, why wouldn't you make the stadium a dome instead of a goddamn open roof? All I say to Buffalo and the Pagulas is, good job, hooray, for learning absolutely nothing from this storm. Good job. But anyway, to the game this week, though. So, yeah, and also the Bills also did donate $20,000 to the Detroit Lions Foundation. So, yeah, that's a pretty generous gesture from the Bills organization. That's good to see. Yeah, always great to see every team support each other through charity. So, yeah, that's pretty good. But anyway, on to the game this week. So, the game between the Bills and the Lions. So currently, the point spread for this game, it has the Bills favored in this game by 9.5 points. So Bills are favored by around 10 points. Like, holy fuck. That's a pretty high point spread, not gonna lie. But yeah, Buffalo, they've also won 5 of the last 6 meetings against Detroit. Buffalo also leads the all-time series against Detroit 6-4-1. This year for the Bills, they're 3-2 on the road this year. Detroit is 2-3 at home. So, of course, for the key players on the Bills offense, one of the big notes is that the quarterback, the big star to show the best player on the Bills, Josh Allen, he's actually questionable for this game with an elbow injury. So yeah, he's questionable for this game with an elbow injury. I think whether he plays or not depends on if he's in any pain when throwing that pigskin. I mean, if worst case scenario, they have Case Keenum ready at backup on standby. But I imagine Josh Allen is going to fight through it, and he's going to play through that injury. So not too concerned about him. The running back core, there's like 3 running backs to keep an eye on. You obviously got the lead bell, Devin Singletary. You also got in there James Cook and Duke Johnson. The receiving core, it's led by Stephon Diggs, the former Viking. You also got Gabriel Davis, Isaiah McKenzie. You got tight end Dawson Knox. They are without Jamison Crowder as he's out for the year with an ankle injury. Defense, the defensive line, you got names like Shaq Lawson, Jordan Phillips, Daquan Jones, Tim Steele, Ed Oliver, the main thing anchoring that D-line. You also got Von Miller in there. Greg Rosso, he's questionable for this game also with an ankle injury. The linebacking core, you got names like Terrell Bernard, and you also got Matt Milano. The Bills, Tremaine Edmonds is also the main piece that leads that linebacking core, but he's questionable for this game with a groin injury. Well, a lot of people playing questionable, like everyone getting banged up now late in the season as we're entering that final sprint of the year. But continuing on, the secondary, it's anchored by Tre'Davious White. At corner, you also got Dane Jackson there, along with rookie Khair Alam. You also got Taron Johnson in there. The safety core is being held down by Jordan Pryor, but they are without Micah Hyde, as Micah Hyde's out for the year with a neck injury, which that's a brutal injury for him. But the Bills have still kept everything kicking on all 8 cylinders on this team from top to bottom. The head coach of the squad, Sean McDermott, one of the big pieces of why the Bills have turned around from being a walking mediocrity joke for like 20 years to now being a Super Bowl contender. And building this team up the right way. Of course, offensive coordinator, you got Ken Dorsey. as old coordinator Brian Daboll went to the Giants to become the head coach in the New York Giants. And then defensive coordinator, you got Leslie Frazier, which is kind of surprising that Leslie Frazier didn't get hired in the offseason. So, yeah, and I imagine he'll probably be in contention for maybe a couple head coaching jobs this year. We'll have to see. So far this year, the Bills offense, it is the number 2 ranked offense in the league. They're 3rd in the passing game, and they're a top 10 unit in the running game and 9th. So that Bills offense is very damn fucking lethal. Like, Josh Allen's had a pretty solid season so far. Like, I would say probably if I have to pick a front, I would probably, like, at the start of the year, Josh Allen's my pick for MVP. So, yeah, I would still think Josh Allen could become MVP this year. Like, because Allen's a beast, not only with his arm, but with his legs as well. The Bills' defense, though, it's a mid-pack defense ranked 13th. And the main issue with this defense in the passing game is they're 20th against the pass. But oddly, they're a top 10 unit against the run, ranked 8th against the run. So that defense is pretty solid, too. Like, 100% the keys to win the game is the Lions got to run the ball. And the best way to beat the Bills and to beat Josh Allen is keep Josh Allen off the field for as long as humanly possible. And take the points whenever you can. Like honestly, the best way to beat Allen is make sure he don't step on the field and damage you with himself, with his legs and his bazooka of an arm. But yeah, this is not going to be an easy game without any stretch of imagination. Even if Allen doesn't play, Case Keenum is still a pretty solid QB, backup QB in this situation. Like, this Bills team is fucking loaded and good. Like, this is going to be a very tough game. You know, I've always respected the Bills. I've always liked the Bills fan base. That fan base is one of the rowdiest and craziest fan bases in the league. 100%. Especially with their tailgate parties and busting each other through tables and just having a good old time. You know, you like to see those kind of things. You know, I respect fan bases like the Bills. Just like to have fun and just shoot the shit. But yeah, overall, this is going to be a pretty tough game. Like, honestly, I could see this being a defensive game. I could see it being a low-scoring defensive game. Like, honestly, with the way the Lions are playing, don't get fooled by that point spread. I think this game is going to be a lot closer than people may think. Like, the bad point spread never tells the entire story. But I think this game's going to be a low-scoring, close game. I do not think the Bills covered that 10-point spread. To be perfectly honest, I think the Lions, they're going to put up a fight, but I just feel like the Bills are just going to be too much for the Lions to handle. Like, the Bills have just had Detroit's number for the longest time. And usually a lot of the Bills and Lions games usually end up being low-scoring games. I think it's going to be another low-scoring game. So, for this one, I think the Bills take this one. I have the Bills winning 21-18. I think the Bills win by 3 points. They do not cover the 10. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people will think, but I feel like the Lions, they'll give it everything they got. Of course, they'll fight hard for Campbell, but in the end, I feel like the Lions I just feel like the Bills are just, well, the Bills overall are just a way better team overall than the Lions. And I just feel like the Bills are just going to be too much for Detroit to handle. And I feel like Detroit's losing streak on Thanksgiving will continue for another year. You know, just this Bills team is fucking dangerous. And honestly, if the Bills get the right matchups in the playoffs, they 100% could do some damage and maybe win the Super Bowl this year. But we'll have to see what happens come playoff time. But yeah, for this one, it's going to be a very tough game, but I think the Bills take this one. I got the Bills by 3. But yeah, anyway, I'll wrap it up here, but you know, it's just going to be a very tough game, but of course, some happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope everyone has a safe and happy Thanksgiving and holiday season. As you know, Christmas is just around the corner. But yeah, anyway, though, it's going to be a tough one, but I feel like the Bills take this one. Anyway, and plus keep this in mind, though. The Lions usually tend to do better every time I bet against them. So maybe that's a sign of what's to come. But yeah, I think the Bills just take this one. The Bills are just going to be too much for Detroit to handle. But yeah, anyway, though, I'm out.